that it stays strong enough to keep the stream going today. But if for some reason I feel like it's not going smooth, I can always just stop the stream and change it up to the other one. But today will be a bit of a tester to see how tomorrow goes. But let me give you guys a bit of some top news today. So Bitcoin holds still around 63,000 to 64,000 despite the recent selling by Strategy. The company disclosed it sold 1,638 Bitcoin last week, but Bitcoin has remained resilient, which is amazing. Oil prices dropped below $80 per barrel after easing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, helping improve investor sentiment across the global markets. The US stock markets opened higher, with the Dow hitting another record high as investors looked ahead to a busy week of earnings from companies including AMD, Disney, Uber, Macca's. And then AI-related stocks remain under pressure. Even as the broader market gains, investors continue rotating into other sectors while reassessing AI valuations. Crypto, well, so pretty much it means AI is not taking over yet. Crypto market sentiment remains cautious. So the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is still in fear territory at 28, showing traders remain defensive despite Bitcoin holding above $63,000. So yeah, that's kind of a bit of the update of what is happening. I am happy to see that Bitcoin did not drop below 63,000, and I believe it is going up, because the last time I streamed with you guys last week, which was I think a Thursday, we saw that Bitcoin was almost like pitter-puttering below 63,000, which was like, oh, it was a low one. So I'm happy to see that it's jumped a little bit higher, and hopefully it can go a little bit more, and then some people can buy in. All right, bear with me 1 second. I have been told that my connection is a bit wobbly. Okay, so that pretty much means that my regular VPN is not something that I can be going with, and that sucks a little bit. I'm just trying to think if I should change it up, or if there's anyone in the comments, please let me know, because I need to decide if I change back to my previous VPN or I stick to this one. See, right now it's beautiful. I can see the connection is absolutely top notch, but it every so often goes down to like blip, blip. So we see. All right, well, for the time being, I don't want to change it when it's like all in green lights. Right now, it's like got green flashing lights everywhere, which is amazing. But yeah, I'm just worried that it might drop again. But that's all right. We'll figure it out step by step and see how we go. Oh, and of course it drops now that I say that. How dare you? Okay, well, to start us off, if you guys are interested, no, don't take away my screens. We are talking about SuperEx today. So SuperEx is an amazing platform where you can do crypto trades. You can deposit, you can withdraw, you can buy, sell, whatever it is you want to be doing with crypto. You can do it. Yeah, it's saying the connection's a bit funky. Oh, we're going to see how we go. But yeah, SuperEx is great for that. I am self-taught as of 2 months ago. I self-taught myself because I wanted to get into the market and learn a new hobby. And SuperEx just kind of like fell into my lap that way. I tried a couple other platforms that I was not happy with. And then the moment I touched SuperEx, it just seemed to make so much sense to me. I was definitely, and still am, one of those blonde girls who's like, what does this button do? But no, SuperEx has definitely been able to sit me down, make sure I understand what's happening, and I love that, and it makes me feel very comfortable. But yeah, so that's the kind of vibe on SuperEx. I think today I kind of wanted to go over, I've done this in previous live streams, but it just depends if someone's popping in for new. I think I want to go over spot trading and futures, just because I think those are really good ones to go over. But yeah, you're more than welcome to go through every step of the way with me if you already have an account. If you don't, you can make an account. And if not, you can just watch the live stream and see if it's something that you want to get yourself into. Honestly, each trade, be it spot trading or futures, once you've done it a few times, could take less than 5 minutes. It could honestly take 2 minutes. You know exactly what you want. You go straight in, boom. But for us today, I'm going to take our time, make sure we understand each step of the way and what the process includes. Because remember, when you are doing trades, this is with your hard-earned money that you're playing with, if you want to say it that way. And I just want to make sure that you guys are making the right decisions and well-informed and educated. Hello, my fur baby. What are you up to? I love it. You guys remember I am fostering 2 fur babies as of maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month ago now. And they're so chatty, especially one of them. In the morning, he's just like, hi, talk to me. I'm here. Love me. At least that's how I interpret it. But no, he's a good baby. Also, as I'm setting us up, I had a birthday weekend this weekend, and it was amazing. I had a joint birthday with one of my friends, and we rented an Airbnb just out of town, which had a pool. It had 10 bedrooms. Everyone pitched in to make sure that we were not paying the entire cost. And we had an amazing time. It was filthy hot, I will say that much. Right now it is summer and it is hot. It is hot. But we had a beautiful time. I'm very lucky. I only got mildly burnt. Not really burnt, but just a little bit of coloring. And when I say coloring, not a tan coloring, rosy coloring. So I guess that is technically a little bit burnt. But yeah, no, I had an amazing weekend. It was great. And as a result, my friend we had some kids over at the villa as well, and she'd made a whole bunch of brownies and cookies. And I still have some leftover brownies that I'm going to be munching on throughout the day because they make me happy. I always need a bit of my sugar boost, even if I don't like to do it for breakfast, but also last night was a long night for me. I was in another town on a work trip. Yes, right after my birthday weekend, I had to go on a work trip. And my flight got delayed. I was supposed to get in at 11 o'clock. I got in at 2:30. Oh, my goodness. And a lot of you guys remember, I go to bed at 9, 10 o'clock. So doing that was a bit of a rough one. I was definitely tired. But I made it through. Oh, bear with me 1 second. Let me just see if I can make sure that the stream is moving. I would hate if I'm just talking to myself the whole time. I made it through the wilderness. All right. I think it's working. Yeah. Okay, it looks like it's just on OBS. It's telling me YouTube is not receiving enough something or other. So I'm just making sure it is smooth sailing. And it does look to be smooth sailing on my end. Okay, sweet. I think we can get into our tutorial of how to do our shabam. Ooh. Okay, so I think I want to start us off with spot trading. This is the SuperEx trading screen. I know it can look... Yes, Kit, you go into your little tower. There we go. He's a bit of a whiny baby. Go to sleep. Don't be rude. All right, so this is the SuperEx trading screen for spot trading. There are only really 4 areas that we need to pay attention to today. We've got our top left. This is our pair sector here. Right now I have Bitcoin and USDT loaded, but you can switch it to any token in seconds. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. Then we've got our big chart in the middle. This is our trading view price chart. It shows you Bitcoin's price action live, and you can switch between 1 minute, 15 minute, hourly, daily candles, whatever fits your styles. And then just right of that is the order book. It shows you every buy order in green and every sell order in red in real time. Honestly, don't worry about it for now. Beginners don't really need to read this. Just acknowledge that it is there. And then on the far right, we have our trading panel, and this is where our magic happens. This is actually the only area we're going to be playing with today. Okay, so on our trading panel, we're going to see buy in green and sell in red. I want to be buying Bitcoin for our tutorial today, so I'm going to click buy, and right under that we'll see 3 order types: limit, market, and stop market. I'm going to use limit, and why is that? A market order buys at whatever the price the market is right now. You have no control. A limit order lets you say, I'm only going to buy if Bitcoin drops to my price. That's pretty much how the pros do it. Be patient and disciplined. Don't just buy it whenever you think, oh yes, now it feels good. All right, let's have a quick detour over to our pairs. I just clicked or hovered over the Bitcoin USDT sign, and this drop down appears. So we've got a search bar where you can search any token there. You can type in ET, ETH, SOL, BNB, honestly anything. SuperEx has thousands of pairs you can choose from. And then below that, we have these tabs that let you filter by category. We've got spot for crypto. We've got stock for US stock markets. Yep, that is right. You heard me. We've got US stocks like Apple, Tesla. Honestly, we've got lots there. And then we have the free market for community listed tokens and so on. Or you can click on any of the popular pairs that they have already set up down here with all their prices, change, and 24 turnover. But I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to stick with my Bitcoin and USDT today. So I close that and I can move back over to my trading panel on the far right. Now we're going to set our buy price. So Bitcoin's sitting at around $63,525 dollars. I think it is probably going to dip a little bit. So I'm going to offer $63,000. And once I type that in the price field, pretty much that means is that the moment Bitcoin touches 60. Okay. Pausing me out. I totally typed that in the wrong way. I was like, this is my. There we go. 63,000 USDT. That's where you put the price. I put it in the total. I'm like, that's wrong. Yeah, make sure you put it in the correct spot or else the numbers are going to be totally askew, okay? So put your price in the price field here. And now we want to think about how much we want to spend in total. I don't want to spend 63,000 US dollars. So that's where I made my mistake. I'm going to commit to putting 50 USDT here. Just for this demo, I typed in 50. I don't actually have 50 in my account. But let's have a look what happens. The amount field automatically calculates how much Bitcoin I'll get. So in this case, I'll get 0.00079 of a Bitcoin. Don't have to do the math. SuperEx does it for you. We love it. Quick tip just to notice, we've got our available balance just below here. You can see right here. I have 15 USDT, which means I don't actually have enough to complete this order, but just make sure that you do not go all in. It is smarter to just do smaller and then go bigger once you understand fully what kind of trade you're getting yourself into, okay? Now we have the part that a lot of beginners like to skip, and I don't appreciate that. It's our take profit and stop loss. Click that right there. I will be completely honest. The first time I ever did a trade, not on SuperEx, this was on another platform years ago, I did not click take profit and stop loss. And as a result, I did lose my funds, and I was not very happy because I did not make sure I had this good exit plan in case anything, essentially if the poop hit the fan. I'm trying to be as PG as possible. But yeah, so right above that buy button, there's that take profit and stop loss little tick. I'm just going to tick that, and those two new fields have pretty much popped up. The first one is TP trigger. That's your take profit. So I'm going to set that one at, let's go 70. 70,000 USDT. So SuperEx pretty much tells me there in red, when the price reaches 70,000 USDT, it'll trigger a market order and my estimated P&L will be 5.53 USDT. So that means if Bitcoin moves from 63,000 up to 70,000, the platform sells my Bitcoin automatically. I lock in my profit while I'm asleep, while I'm at work, anytime. We love that. Okay, that one's set. Now let's do our SL trigger, which is our stop loss. I'm going to set that one at, let's go 60,000 USDT. Pretty much is the same logic but opposite direction. So if Bitcoin crashed from 63,000 to 60,000, the platform sells immediately and I lose 2.37 USDT. I don't lose 20, I don't lose 50. My downsize is capped, okay? Remember, then there's that little red message that it says here. It says when the price reaches 60,000 USDT, it'll trigger a market order. Read it, trust it. The system does what it says, and it's trying to educate us along the way so we are aware of what decisions we are making, okay? Pretty much, the professionals never enter a trade without an exit plan, and we've just set that in a span of 1 minute, okay? You could do it within 10 seconds if you had it. You knew exactly what you were doing. Okay, and then the final countdown. No, the final step before you, anything is we double check the numbers at the bottom. My available USDT balance and your buyable Bitcoin. So I am saying I only have 15 USDT in this account, so I can't actually process this order. But that's all good. I'm just showing you guys as an example for this demo. So once you guys are ready, you click buy Bitcoin, that big, beautiful green button right there. And boom, that's it. Your order is now live. It's in the order book, which you can go down. Which you can go down here at the bottom. You don't have to sit and watch it. The system handles everything. If Bitcoin hits 63,000, you buy. If it hits 70,000, you sell for profit. If it crashes down to 60,000, you sell to cut your loss. 3 scenarios, all automated. We love that. So pretty much the flow that we went through just now. Oh, I can see the connection dropped a little bit, but hopefully it boosts back up. Yes, it did. All right, pretty much the entire workflow that we went through just then was we chose our pair, we clicked buy, we chose limit, we set our price, how much we want to spend, we set our TP and SL, and you click buy. That's pretty much 7 steps, less than 2 minutes once you kind of know how it's done. Super easy, and I love that. But yeah, so that is our spot trading. I think we still have time to go over our futures, so I do want to quickly jump onto that one. Futures will be probably easier after we've done our spot because it's pretty much a similar process, just with a little bit of extra buttons to press. So right here is our perpetuals future screen. Make sure it is. Yep, it is. And it looks pretty similar to spot with just a few new pieces added to the mix. All right, remember 4 areas that we need to scan here. We've got our top left is our pair sector. Currently we have Bitcoin USDT perpetual. You can switch between ETH, SOL, anything just by clicking in there. And then we have this top row here, which is our specific data. So mark price is what the platform uses to calculate unrealized P&L, and liquidation. Index price is the multi-exchange weighted spot price. Then we have funding and countdown. So every 8-hour trading panel at the top here. Mine currently says isolated. But if it's your first time, it might say cross. So we're going to click onto that. And it comes up with these 3 options, okay? This pretty much decides what's going to happen when things go wrong. So cross margin mode is every position you have under this asset shares one single margin balance. If one trade tanks, the system will pull from your other position's margin to prevent liquidation. It sounds nice, but if everything crashes at once, you can lose your entire futures wallet and not just one position. That's super stressful. Then we have our isolated margin mode. You assign a fixed amount of margin to each position. If the trade goes against you, you only lose that allocated margin. The rest of your wallet is safe. This one is quite recommended for beginners. And then we have our split margin mode, similar to isolated, but you transfer a specific amount upfront. If the margin drops to equal to or below 100%, you get liquidated and the trader can lose all the margin in that sub account. Once you decide, you click confirm. My honest recommendation is go with isolated. First month, stick with isolated until you understand how the system works, but I'm pretty much only been using isolated this whole time, and I will be for a little bit longer. And that's because I'm self-taught and I have anxiety. Okay, next we're going to be choosing our leverage. So we're going to click the button that's right next to our margin mode. Mine currently says 30 times, and we click that and this pop-up appears. So the big count at the top, you can use the plus and minus to fine tune it, or you can drag the slider all the way down from 1 times to 150 times. Just read the warning carefully. So selecting a high leverage will increase the risk of forced liquidation. At 150 times, a 0.66% move against you wipes you out. At 10 times, it takes about a 9% move. At 3 times, you'll survive a 30% crash. Higher leverage isn't bigger profits. It's smaller margin for the same position size, which means tighter liquidation distance, okay? So once you've chosen it, you click confirm. My recommendation for first timers is start between 3 and 5 times. You kind of want to learn the platform and not risk it all in one day, and then you can always increase it later. I'm going to stick to my 30 times just because I like a nice even number. All right, now we're going to set up our actual order. We are going to stick to a limit order mode, similar to my spot tutorial. This lets us pick the exact buy price instead of taking the market. Okay, let's set our buy price. And remember, put it in the buy price and not in the amount. Okay, so Bitcoin is currently at $63,501. I'm going to put this one at same as what I did for spot, 63,000. So there's a small dip from the current. So if Bitcoin drops there, my order fills. If it doesn't, nothing happens and I can cancel at any time. Then this little toggle underneath is quite important. Cont versus USDT. Cont means how many contracts. So each Bitcoin contract on SuperEx is equal to a specific Bitcoin quantity, whereas USDT means how much USDT you want to commit. I recommend picking with USDT just because you're aware of what the dollar amount is and it's easier to understand and process that. And then for the amount, similar to my spot, I'm going to put 50 USDT, even though I don't have it in my account, but just I like our nice even numbers. That's pretty much how much capital I'm willing to commit for this trade. All right, look down below. The margin says 1.66 USDT, and that's only like $3 and change locked up as collateral because at 30 times leverage, 50 USDT of exposure only requires 50 divided by 30, which is around 1.66 USDT of margin. That's pretty much the leverage magic. Small margin, big position, big risk too. Okay, keep that in mind. Now we have the most important section is our take profit and stop loss. Similar to our spot, if there's only one thing you can remember from this video, make it this: never enter a futures trade without these two numbers set. So find that little checkbox and click it, TPSL, and our two new fields have popped up. So for take profit, I'm gonna set you at 70,000. So pretty much I'm buying at what, 63,000, and saying if Bitcoin bumps up to 70,000, I sell automatically and lock in my gains. I don't need to stare at the chart. The platform does it for me, which I love. Then stop loss, my SL trigger, I'm gonna put it at, let's go 60 again. 60,000 USDT, so the opposite direction. If Bitcoin crashes from 63,000, it will sell immediately and cap my loss. This is that fine line between losing some margin and getting completely liquidated. Only after both are set do you click open long, the buy button, or you click the open short. So open long means you're betting Bitcoin goes up. Open short means you bet it goes down. All right? And then after you've clicked whichever one, in this case, I would have probably gone open long. Your order will go live in two places that we can check it here. Our open orders tab, which is at the bottom of the screen. If it's a limit order that hasn't been filled yet, it sits here. You can cancel it anytime. Then we have our positions tab, okay? Once the order fills, so if Bitcoin touches my 63,000 bid, the trade moves from open orders to positions. You'll see your entry price, current P&L in USDT. liquidation price, and a close button. To close early, you just hit the close button. You can do a flash close, which is the market price instant, or a limit close, your chosen exit price. Once closed, your margin is returned to your futures wallet, plus or minus your P&L minus fees. And then if your TP or SL triggers automatically, the position closes itself and you'll see it in order history, okay? It's honestly pretty straightforward once you've done it a few times. Let's quickly go over how to